Okay, getting ready. Hello, everybody. We have more rain and snow out in the western part of the Dakotas. Meanwhile, we have winter weather advisories at the same time as we have severe thunderstorm warnings taking place in eastern parts of Minnesota. We talked about it earlier. We're going to talk about it again in this version of Hutch's Weather. My friends at Robert Gibbons Sons want to remind you that their quality equipment from Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems, whatever it takes, comes with 10-year parts and 3-year labor warranties. Give them a call today. They have 110 plus years of experience servicing our mechanical needs here in the Valley. Give them a call. Tell them Hutch sent you. Now, let's get back this wild radar. And I mean, it's wild. Whiplash, I've been saying, and indeed, that's what we got. Let's go into Duluth. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for areas of Duluth and points just south on the I-35 corridor for this little blue baby right there, moving out of McGregor, and it's heading out to the east at about 45 miles per hour. Hail report there of about 1/4 of an inch in diameter. But it's capable of up to 1 1/2 inch diameter hail as it moves just south of Tamarack right now. Now, this storm is moving off to the east. Now, if you joined me earlier today, we were talking just a little bit about a chance for some spin in the atmosphere here, and we can take a quick peek at that with this particular storm just to show you what it is we are seeing with regards to the motion inside the cloud and what's going on with this particular thunderstorm cell. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we go. All of this motion is generally unidirectional. There's not a lot of spin or shear showing up in this particular scan from this particular storm at this time, and that's good news. The models were showing some spin in southern Minnesota as we went into the evening hours tonight as the cold front knifes down through that neck of the woods. We'll be watching for that right here on Hutch's Weather. Here's another look at straight out velocity. The radar in Duluth pointing into the storm. It's seeing motion away from the radar in red toward the radar in green. And we oftentimes, you hear us meteorologists say, well, when we see red and green, that means there's spin in the storm. Not necessarily in this particular case. You got motion towards the radar here at a point closer to the radar, but a little farther away, it's moving away. What's that? Yeah, that's air that's diverging, not necessarily spinning. That's now south of Wright and Cromwell. Let's get back to the latest radar scan, and here we go. Woo, that's some pretty significant hail potential there from that cell. It's moving off to the east. Now, let's get you some towns in the path of the storm. If you are in the Carlton area, 410, the storm should be near you, and not but 1 minute later, Thompson and Renshaw will be under the influence of this particular cell. The current rate of movement is just a little bit south of east right now, keeping it south of Cloquet, but now down towards Oliver and Poplar. It could be moving in your neck of the woods, rather, and just south of the Duluth area, the way it looks right now. Now, the interesting thing is this particular area here is under a winter storm, or excuse me, a winter weather advisory at this particular time. Check this nonsense out. Up to the north there, we do have all these blue counties winter weather advisory for what's going on now. Ice aplenty is possible. Ice storm warnings from northern Wisconsin into the UP as we head into the evening hours. This winter weather advisory is for the Saturday night system that also will dump ice and some significant snow into the area. So we do have some wild weather. Let's take a look at what's going on. Bruce says, howdy, Hutch. Thunder this morning in Vining, only raindrops, not even enough though to make the sidewalk wet. Same thing happened here in the FM area, just enough to really dash the windshield, and that's about it. But that's what's going on here. And now as we take a look elsewhere across the nation, this is what we're watching for as a Colorado low lifts out of Colorado as we go through Saturday and into Sunday. Severe weather outbreak is going to be possible across the Central Plains and even the Ohio River Valley from Illinois and Indiana straight south into Kentucky, western parts of Tennessee, much of Arkansas, northern parts of Mississippi. And look at this, the Boot Hill of Missouri will get in on the action and potential for severe weather. By the way, that severe weather threat does include Detroit. In the yellow, that is a slight risk. That is for Sunday. Now let's talk about what's going on right now. Let's take a look back again at the radar, and I'll show you that moving into the Bismarck area right now, we do have some heavier rain showers pushing in. Here we go as we take a look out there. I got the single site radar on. It looks like we have an active tornado warning here as well. Tornado warning for an observed tornado down here on the border with Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. Let's go down there and take a look at that because that is some wild weather. It's moving to the north of Vivian, heading towards the Atlanta area. So that is a stout thunderstorm right there. We'll take a look at the Shreveport radar and show you with the tools Hutch has here how I will be covering severe weather for you as we go into the upcoming season. Now, this doesn't look all that impressive on the radar display. We're not seeing a lot of pinks. The hail, not the main threat here. We have an observed tornado that is associated with this storm. When we look at the storm relative velocity, taking out the motion of the storm, we see this, well, right next to each other. We call that gate-to-gate shear. There is some spin right there. It is between Rodessa and Ida at this particular time, and it's moving off to the north. So if you are in Rodessa, if you're in that Ida area, this rotating thunderstorm with an observed tornado on the ground is moving off to the north. Let me get the speed of the motion of that. 16 miles per hour is it. So it's moving in the general direction of northerly at 16 miles per hour. Could have some hail, but right now you can see clearly that the strongest spin in that storm located right here just outside of Rodessa. Let's go ahead and measure that as the crow flies as well, as we are definitely seeing that storm system. Boy, as the crow flies from the Rodessa area, let's take a peek here. Bing, bing. That is only 3 miles to the east southeast of Rodessa at this time. And as far as the Ida area goes, here we go. We'll measure that. That's south southwest of you by 3.9 miles. So just about in the middle of those two communities there on the border with Arkansas and Louisiana at this particular hour. Okay, now I digress. Let's get back into the northern plains here, talk about what's coming into Bismarck, capital city of North Dakota. Let's go right to the Bismarck radar. We'll go to the single site data here, and here it comes, all loading in as we wait for that to get going. And let me turn this off as well. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get the regular radar data up, loaded up for you here. And here we go. So we do have the severe thunderstorm warning we were talking about out in Duluth, but here's the second wave behind the system moving through. Now there's some heavier rain making its way into the area. Let me turn that off. Okay, there we go. And now I think I've turned the marker off. Now we do have some snow in McLean County, Garrison, the Lake Sakakawea area south towards Beulah. The radar is estimating we could have some ice falling. And in and around the Bismarck area, we do have some showers of rain. Elgin, New Leipzig on in toward the Flasher area. And it's all moving off to the east-northeast at this particular time as well. So keep in mind some soggy showers of rain will be on the backside of this system. Let's get to your forecast and talk about what's going to happen for you on your Friday evening as you head out and about. Now, this is an hourly updating model, and not all models are agreeing on the track of stuff, but we do have strong to severe thunderstorms working their way in toward the Duluth area. We can get into this model run right here. Okay, and those will be swiftly moving off to the east. Watching down south in southern Minnesota, do you see this low moving through? There's a warm front associated with this, and if any thunderstorms form in this area, there will be some spin in the atmosphere, so that would be the area where we could have a risk for some strong to severe storms as we go through the late evening hours. This model not showing much. Here we go. There, that's the activity I'm anticipating as we go across and about into that 10 o'clock time frame or so. Now, as we take a look at what's going on in the Bismarck area, that expands east into the valley and could produce briefly heavy precipitation in the form of ice and snow, moving right over Grand Forks, Emerado, out Nelson County out there from Michigan City, and that'll head out to the east as we go through the late evening hours. Again, this is about the 10 o'clock time frame. After that, this system's done. Then we turn our heads and look ahead. And we're looking at this puppy right here. This is the Colorado low spinning its way through the Black Hills of South Dakota. Ice and snow as we go into Saturday night late. It takes most of the day. We get a break on Saturday from the nasty weather until the evening hours. Around dinner time, we're going to see a chance of snow. This model says southeast North Dakota to south central North Dakota. For you folks in the Emmons County area, a chance for seeing some snow. Mixed precipitation right into Aberdeen and Sisseton Hills with rain showers south towards Watertown, oddly enough, and Sioux City, Iowa. Getting in on the rain side of the system, same thing for Minneapolis, St. Paul. Heading into the late night hours as we approach the 10 o'clock time frame, this model says Fargo, Valley City, Jamestown, and Point South get snow, and it could be measurable in Fargo according to this model. But I'll show you here momentarily, not all models do agree, where the heavier band of snow does set up. It'll be significantly measurable with this Colorado low. Look at the isobars, very close, and that means some significant significant wind with the storm system. Amara, thank you for joining me. Greetings to you as well. Where are you watching from? I see A on there. Is that for Amara? I hope it's right. And I hope I am pronunciating your name correctly. Thunder sleet still for Brainerd tomorrow. Terry is asking, check this out. If you take a look at this area here, there's going to be strong north winds. We're going to have a very intense band of precipitation here. Yes, there could be some thunder associated with it, thunder sleet. Look at the time on this, though, as we back this puppy up. Shazam, the convective type precipitation is arriving right here as we go towards 8 to 10 o'clock. So at night, while you're getting all ready to tuck yourself in for the night, you may hear, you also hear sleet, thunder sleet. Yes, I'm going to go with that, Terry. It's a possibility for the Brainerd Lakes area and point south down towards St. Cloud, also out towards the areas in and around Alexandria, Minnesota, according to this model. Other models have this action a little bit farther south. That's your Saturday night. This is Sunday noon exiting, but still very windy in and around the Twin Cities, St. Cloud, all the way down towards south central parts of Minnesota with this particular angry system. I'm going to show you this model's forecast snowfall because that's still a day and a half away. Let's go ahead and take a look at this model's rendition of the snowfall potential. Okay, here we go. This is really high. Now we can look at the numbers here. We got a foot of snow. Is this out of question? Absolutely not. The snowiest month of the year for Colorado, which is right down here, is the month of March. That's the time when they get the most snowfall. Elevated terrain in the Black Hills can suck extra moisture out of these storm systems, and therefore, in this particular area, I do not believe this is out of line. So 8 or more inches of snow possible along this band, according to this model. That would include portions near or just south of the Sisseton area, Lake Traverse, pushing its way all the way up into that St. Cloud area. Here's the Twin Cities on the northern metro. You're looking at it. Same thing as Duluth. Do all models agree with this track? And the swift and a very emphatic answer is no. Here's another model. It's an American model. It does have some information on it regarding to convection as well. This model is fairly similar now, as a matter of fact. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right model run here. Indeed, I am. Okay, so we'll look at this one more time. Here is a look at the snowfall potential with this system. Here's the one moving through tonight. Some snowfall, International Falls, Lake Capitogama, Rainy Lake, all the way out toward the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Boom, shazam, here comes this system. Notice this. Not as much in the Black Hills, nor is it as heavy on this particular model, but it does have some pretty significant snow. Duluth, right through Lakes Country. If you are in Brainerd Lakes area right here, you're looking at being in the heavier band of snow. I would call that the 2 to 6 plus inch category. Only a few of us will get the really, really heavy snow. Look at that little dot of wintry goodness right there. This model estimating 13 inches, as you can see by my shoulder. 13 inches of snow. Is that Hutch's forecast? No. What I am trying to point out by showing you these models is that the models are not all in agreement on the track of this storm. Here's a third model, fairly close, but it's not carrying out the completion of the snow out towards Duluth. It does have a heavy pocket of snow in south central parts of South Dakota, a shift of a good 100 miles over the other model. Artists, thank you so much. Sergeant Artie, send you greetings from Monoman. It's very wonderful, and I'm glad that you found me here on YouTube as well. Thank you so much. I'd love to have your subscriptions on the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the bell on there. Now, we did get some hail. Hail! Right here in our area, still icy on walkways and grass in the Badger from that freezing rain and mist, and it still seems to be falling now. Thank you for your report, Angel. Check out some of the photos some of you have sent in to me today with our very wild weather rocking its way through the region. We did have some hail, all right. Check out these pictures. That's a nickel right there. That is not a tornado. Let's get into it. Let's show you some of the things you saw today. First and foremost, what can cause this? Put your answer in the comments below and I'll remind me what do you think is causing that? That is the wildest looking thing we've ever seen. But if we take a minute and think about it, what do you think is going to cause that? I'm going to give you a chance to answer. In the meantime, let's show you this hail. Here's a nickel. Here's some hail. This is Henning in the industrial park. Stephanie, thank you so very, very much for taking the time to not only share with me your email, but you also uploaded the photo to hutchesweather.com. And this is a doggone crazy event. You see the puppy back there? Ho, ho, ho. There he is. making an observation of the hail. There he is, right there. You know what? I have a dog assistant here somewhere. Oh, sleeping Pedro? I get it. He's taking a doggy nap. Well, I would too. Thanks, Stephanie, for this picture once again of what it looked like in Henning as a storm passed its way through. Now, Deer Creek, another one. Nicole sharing this. Look at the ground covered with some hail out there. Not completely covered, but certainly a storm with thunder, lightning, and hail will wake you up and have you say, what? Yeah, that's right. So we had thunderstorms, not severe ones here, but there are severe ones now moving into the Duluth area. So thank you so very much for uploading. Comcast, yeah, it is. Gary says from a jet stream. So that picture, excellent guess. I saw that line in the sky yesterday, says Bonnie. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. And let me take a look. This is Tricia Minoman. This is from the 27th. So yesterday. So not only one that saw it. So what happens? We have a deck of clouds that you're seeing visible right here. These little lumpy, bumpy called cumuliform clouds right here. Way up high above it. And we probably can't even see where it is in the sky. There is a jet contrail. Okay, condensation trail behind a jet, and it's casting a shadow from the sun on this lower deck of clouds, giving it that weird appearance of what looked like from a small view right here. Is that a funnel cloud? All right, very good, Gary. Thank you very much for your feedback, and thanks to all of you. An airplane path, Angel says, is indeed the case. Rain in Fargo, please. That would be a nice thing because it sure is brown around here. Okay, we've got your input here. Now let's take a look at this forecast once again as we go back to it now. Saturday's storm system is a little bit too far out into Sunday to get really quantifiable measurements, but I also want to point this out. On Hutch's 7-day planner, you guessed it, I have another heads up for everybody, a Hutch's hunch, and my hunch is that my elbow's cracking. You hear that? My elbow's cracking, and we have a significant Colorado low that will be blasting through as we begin the new month, Tuesday and into Wednesday. Most of the event will be from midday Tuesday into the overnight, and by Wednesday morning, it will be shifting out into Minnesota. Let's see if this puppy is still got some bite, shall we? Okay, here's the European model. It's the one I trust most when it comes to days beyond, say, 3 or 4 days, and we'll get through this system. That's our Colorado low on the weekend. Whoop! Okay, this Colorado low on the European model does not have Fargo getting the brunt of the storm, so that's something to consider. Then we get a nice little break, not a warm one, a cold pool of air setting up in Hudson Bay. Here comes the next Colorado low. This is a screamer, and I think it could really produce some severe weather potential as well in the Central Plains. This model now, look at the track of this low, diving southward a little bit before northward. So it's setting up a band of snow, but because it's so disconnected from this low, I don't think it will last too long. Oh, there it explodes as the low lifts rapidly northward. This is a big change. But I still wish to show you that this system looks like it is definitely taking aim on our Minnesota and Wisconsin counties as we look our way into the second of the month. So the timing is still there, and that's the Europeans model's version of that. Let's zoom into our neck of the woods. No, let's not. Let's go to the USA model here and take a look at that at the American view. Let me go ahead and get back here. Where'd you go? Oh, I know where you went. Okay, there we go. I clicked on the wrong button. Sometimes that happens when I've had too much coffee, and for that, I apologize. But it's just one of those things when you start at early hours of the morning. Colorado low moving through. That's Saturday into Sunday. That's going to bring snow to Fargo, according to the American model. Nope, they can't make up their minds, can they? Severe weather outbreak in the plains here, starting right here as boom, it really takes off and fires. We'll have all modes of severe weather possible, including tornadoes, as this low lifts its way through. We'll have what's called a triple point low right here, which will give extra spin to that atmosphere. And look at this, another one down here in the deep south, right on the Mississippi-Alabama border for the wee hours of the morning. So nocturnal tornadoes from Saturday right into, from Sunday right into Monday morning down in the deep south. Here is a look at the cold air in behind the system. Now, does this one have the first and second storm? Here's the Colorado low. Let's see where it takes it. Does it dive it way south? Okay, no, it's not as far south as the European model. And look at this. There's a northern branch of it right here and a southern branch, and they congeal together. They kind of coalesce, if you will, right in South Dakota. That would be bad news. unless you want more moisture because we're drought ridden. This is a good location for heavy snow and heavy precipitation in our area from a system like this. It's still a pretty broad area low pressure. See the big vast area it covers? It's not just a succinct little bullseye. So that could spread the wealth with this storm. Also, we see a lot of thunderstorm activity out in the central plains and the eastern third of the United States. That can take some of the balance of moisture out of the equation for the northern plains. But look at this heavy band of snow. That's Bismarck. That is Devil's Lake. That's Grand Forks. That is working its way right through the region and on its way out toward the UP. Look at the severe weather potential with this, almost a repeat performance of Sunday into Monday morning. So again, this is the first and second of the month, and the storm just keeps storming as it exits the region with thunderstorms aplenty and very heavy rain persistent for the better part of the work week through Friday. Unbelievable. How much snow are we talking in the northern plains? Let's zoom into our regional view here and take a look at that together. And then we'll wrap up this afternoon long-winded version, and I'll update you on the severe thunderstorm working its way into areas, pardon me, like Duluth. More coffee. It's the gift that keeps on giving as long as you'll let it. All right, now let's take a look at this. Here, let's go with the winter weather. Let's take a look at the potential. Oopsies. There we go. Let's look at snowfall potential. Do not pay any attention to the numbers here. What we're looking at is the track and, again, an idea of the potential. I'm going to look at a 24-hour windows of snow, so we won't be including snow from the first system that we get Sunday into Monday. So let's look at this. 24-hour snowfall. We're looking at the American model. We'll go way out there until we get into that first and second of the month. I don't know why it's loading so slow. Let me see here. I'm going to load it one more time because it's grumpy. Oh, okay. Well, let me see if I got a... I cannot explain what's going on here with this, so let's go to the European model and see what this is showing for the snowfall potential with the first and the second system. So this one is showing in 24-hour, well, basically 12-hour windows. Oh, that's a 6-hour. That's why. Okay, now let's go here. All right, here we go. So as we get into the first and second of the month, you can see this thing working its way through the region. That's total snowfall. My apologies. Here we go. First and second only. So now we're only looking at this system working its way through. Starting out in the Dakotas, we'll have a band out here that could potentially bring some heavy precipitation in the form of snow as we go into the second. By heavy, we're going to say over 3 inches of snow, and some areas could pick up even more. And the bullseye could indeed be over much of northern Minnesota. We definitely need the moisture in northern Minnesota, and the snowfall potential up there looks to be significant. And let's say over 4 inches for some spot at this point in time. Measurable snow for certain is a possibility. Okay, let's wrap up with your questions. Up in Roseau County, up to Roseau County. Well, on this particular storm here, as we take a look at the snowfall potential with it, I can show you that Roseau County does get some pretty precipitous precipitation potential from this system as it works its way through on the first and the second of the month. Most of your snow comes on the second of the month of April. Okay, so keep that in mind as we glide into next week. We've got another weather making system that is potentially going to make its way through here. Let me take a look at one other model. This is a German model. It's kind of fun to look at, and sometimes it's good to get an idea if all three models are showing this system. Look at this. It is first, second, third. Look at that snowfall potential this model is painting in the Southern Valley. Do I believe that? No, not a chance, not yet. But I do think we do have a significant Colorado type low that's going to bring a lot of moisture potential to the region as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. And by the time we get to Wednesday night, that's what this model is showing. That's Wednesday night, and it just keeps on giving. Wow, that's a lot of giving it's doing there as it works its way through the region. Okay, one more model because we can. Let's take a look at this Canadian model. And sometimes this one does really well. So as we go into the first and second, this one has an almost identical look to the storm we have moving through Saturday night and into Sunday of this weekend. It's almost an identical track, to be honest with you, the way that was looking. So that is a look. Thank you very much for your continued support. And it does look like the midweek will bring some more wild weather here to the valley. Temperatures will be cooler for Saturday. We're going to peak near 40 degrees. Fargo, I do think, has a chance, and I will update this later tonight. I think we will stand a decent chance at seeing some snowfall as we go into Saturday morning, but it should be an inch or less. Down south of us, I think we're going to get rocked with some more snow. I believe I have my snowfall forecast for this weekend system right here. So around an inch. Could be a little bit more as you get down south of us. And I think the heavier band of snow will be from Pierre right into the Duluth area, 2 to 5 plus, I'll call it, on the I-29 corridor in South Dakota, and also on the I-94 corridor through central parts of Minnesota, not far from Alexandria. To say the Little Falls area, there's Brainerd, and that is Saturday night and into Sunday. All right, that's a complete look at your weather. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Terry, for your kind words, and thanks for watching. Remember, you can get the very latest on what's going on in your area on the weather at hutchesweather.com. Now, we're going to update you on what's going on. We have Garrison snow showers and some ice showing up there. We'll end with a look at current conditions right now. So as this moving through, just in time for your drive time home in and around McLean County, Oliver County, out near Center and out near Beulah and Hazen, a chance for some slipperiness there with some rain showers out in the Bismarck area. And meanwhile, out in Duluth, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is crossing the I-35 corridor. The main core of that storm just south of town, just south of Cloquet. So when we first started this update, it looked like that storm was going to pass south of Cloquet, and that's where it is. Is it spinning? Is there any sign of it? I do not see a significant hook echo on this particular puppy, but let's go ahead and take a look at the velocities in it that the Duluth radar is picking up. There is some shear along the leading edge, and that's not a definite sign or definitive sign of a tornado, but there is some shear along the outflow from that particular storm. And as we take a look at the other factors with regards to this particular storm, let me go to the storm relative velocity here to take a look. As we take the motion of the storm out, it's all unidirectional. There's very little in the way of gate-to-gate shear or spin in that particular storm. But when we do look at the hail chance and the hail tracker, let's go ahead and see what it pulls up here. And we're waiting for it to think. And with regards to what's going on the latest scan here, I'm not seeing much of a huge hail threat with this. So the hail threat with this was up to 1.5 inches in diameter. The core of the storm is working its way off to the east. By around 4:10, it's expected to be in the general vicinity of Carlton. Let me get back over here to the single site radar. So we can see that it's really on the doorstep here as we're approaching now in Carlton. The timing is looking pretty good. Heading on toward the Oliver area by 4:21. Nathan, good to have you on board. Thanks, Jason, for watching. I appreciate all of you. For now, severe weather out toward the Duluth area right now in the form of thunderstorms, and now the radar's even showing some snow. What's it look like outside? Well, you got a couple of places to check that out. Hutchesweather.com. You can go down and scroll to the bottom of the page, and my friends at the NTROTC, the Northern Transcon Railroad, they have a site here that has 16 cameras all woven together for you to take a look at. We didn't get a lot of snow in the Perham area today. Wadena did get some severe weather in that vicinity with the hail that we saw, but not severe hail. I shouldn't say that. It was just a thunderstorm type of an event. Now we do have the Duluth cam. Let's go right to that. We'll have to go over just a little commercial here or whatever. We'll get by that, and then we'll take a peek at what we have going on in and around Duluth right now as that storm is just off to the south of us. You can get to the NTR OTC site on hutchesweather.com. There are 16 cameras around the region here that give you a pretty good idea of what we're seeing across the region with that bird's eye view. Another thing that you can kind of take a look at on Hutch's Weather is what's going on the DOT camera sites. So as we take a look across North Dakota first, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on out near the Lake Sakakawea area. Do you see the purple roads? Those are covered with some snowy conditions out there. And as we take a look at the yellow roads, those ones are covered with ice. So we do have the Williston zone here reporting to be quite icy. As we take a look at the camera shot, that looks pretty wet. There's white on the side of the road, but watch out for some very slippery conditions there. As we get closer to Minot, we do have snow-covered roads here. You can certainly and clearly see that second batch of snow moving through is laying it down. And some of the heaviest snow, it's kind of interesting. Near Bismarck, we were seeing evidence that we had. Let's look at the Capitol building. Here's off the roof of the Capitol building in Bismarck, North Dakota. We're seeing the gray skies out there. The radar was showing wet in Bismarck, and that's exactly what we're seeing on the north side of Bismarck. But as you go north towards Washburn, the radar was indicating the potential for some icing up there. And that wetness on the camera lens does look to be solid, so there could be some ice going on up in the Highway 83 corridor north of town. We still have some wet road conditions reported now in the Devil's Lake Basin. That's what the blue colors mean here. And that snow that we see out near the Bismarck area will be heading our way. Now let's take a look at what's going on out to the east, because in Duluth, it's wild. Severe thunderstorm warning in place. Hail upwards of 1.5 inches in diameter is expected. We got a crash reported on Interstate 35 right here. It says southbound debris on the roadway is what that was, not a crash. And here, if we take a look at the area where this thunderstorm is moving, here we go. We should be able to see, well, it's kind of a tree-ish out there. So we do have definitely wet roads out there as that thunderstorm is approaching this particular camera right now. And here is a look at Otter Creek a little bit farther to the west. Oh my goodness. Is that hail or is that ice? Well, it's ice because hail is made of ice. But look at that road surface there. This is the Atkinson Bridge on milepost 231 of I-35. So I-35 definitely has a coating of what looks like considerable amount of hail there from that puppy as it's barking its way towards areas just south of Duluth. Here's Cloquet. It's just wet there. That storm passed to the south of Cloquet and is now on its way to areas just off to the east here. So in Duluth, what's going on here as we take a look at the bridge? Let's see if we can get a look at the bridge. It's not gonna cooperate. Let's go in the south side of town here. We have wet weather there. And on the north side of town, there could be some icing going on here because temperatures are very close to that freezing mark. And here, oh, that's a tunnel. We're not going to get much precipitation inside a tunnel. But that's just a, advanced chapter in meteorology. We get up on the North Shore. What's going on up there? Looks like more tunnel action there. A lot of wet weather up there as well. So right now we have wet weather taking place. We have severe thunderstorms in the form of hail. Minnesota's getting a little bit of everything in spring. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching from the Dilworth area. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate all of you checking in. I'd love to have you follow me here on Facebook. Click the subscribe button on YouTube. But for now, have yourself a wonderful Friday, and I'll be back with an updated forecast for our snow event on Saturday night into Sunday coming up a little later.